We're visiting with the lovely Georgina and Philip from High Trees Estate Coffee in Alstonville, New South Wales. Thank you very much for inviting us to join you. Philip and Georgina's parents own the plantation and they've given us a tour today. You've made yourself available. Thank you for that.
No worries, it's lovely to have you here.
Thank you. Now, I have to ask you both, how many cups of coffee do you each drink a day? That's the first thing I had to know.
1 or 2 at the very least.
Yeah, and what about your mum and
Same
dad?
for me, yeah, 1 or 2. Well, mum and dad can drink up to 4 or 5 a day, depending on how their day's going.
Yeah.
Right, true coffee lovers. I decided to use Australian grown coffee for our exfoliate product after I became aware of all the chemicals that were used overseas in coffee plantations, and I also really wanted to support the local coffee industry. I feel it's, if it grows in Australia, then save the food miles and support local farms. I had an idea, a waste-wise idea that I wanted to put into practice, and I called your dad and put that idea to him, and I was very grateful that he listened. Perhaps you guys can explain what you do for us that's so different.
Yeah, of course. Well, of course, with coffee beans, you do have size variations, and we found that the smallest beans would actually get over-roasted when we roasted them, and it would cause bitterness in our coffee. So we were just putting them into the compost, which was a big waste.
And now you keep them for me,
Yeah.
which is great. So a regular size beans doesn't mean a regular quality. So they just set them aside, and you roast them separately for us, and we use those in our exfoliates, such as with coffee beans. So it's great. We're very glad you do that for us. Thank you. And High Trees Estate Coffee is really unique. You guys are like a one-stop shop here. Tell me all the things you do.
Alright, so right here on the farm, we actually do all of the growing, harvesting, processing, packing, grinding, and distribution of our product. So we do everything from start to finish.
Wow, super busy.
Yeah. So we've been doing it for about 15 years. We've really perfected it. It's really quite an art form, coffee growing.
And whose job is it to do the roasting?
It's Mum's.
Your mum's.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. And she put a lot of effort into learning that.
She did. Yep. She went down to Sydney and did a few courses and went to TAFE, and she's really, really good.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, we're going to try it in a minute.
Yeah.
I know it's wonderful already, but and I have another question. Can you keep a good roast like you can a good wine? So can you bring it out for a special occasion?
You can't keep the roast itself. After it's been roasted and packed, it'll last for about 9 to 12 months in the one-way valve bags that we use.
Okay.
But if it is kept in its parchment, if the green bean is kept in parchment in storage, that can last for more than 100 years, and it will just get better with time. It develops a better body, which gives it a better taste.
Wow.
And just gets better over time.
Wow. I did not know that. That's amazing. Georgina, how many trees do you have on the estate?
We have 10,000 coffee trees along 60 rows. So that actually might sound like a lot, but it is a very small farm for a coffee farm.
It does sound like a lot of trees to look after.
Yeah.
And how long do they take to mature till they produce fruit for you?
Around 4 or 5 years, and then they're fully mature. And once they start producing fruit, they'll keep producing fruit forever.
And one of the things that I find the most interesting that I like to ask farmers is how much water their crops use, whether their crop is suited to the Australian landscape. So tell us, do coffee trees need a lot of water?
Where we are here, we don't actually need to irrigate our coffee. There is irrigation set up, but it doesn't need to be used because it rains enough in the environment here for the coffee to get sufficient water, but also if it doesn't rain, the coffee survives. Adversely, if it rains too much, there is 100 metres of volcanic soil underground here, and that will drain the water so that the trees don't drown either.
So, wow, you're sort of drought-proof and flood-proof.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's the perfect area. Yeah.
Oh, no wonder you guys set the plantation here. Perfect spot for you.
It is.
Wow. In terms of organic farming, a lot of crops require really out-of-the-box type thinking to solve how you're going to get rid of pests without chemicals. But coffee's a little bit different. Tell me why.
Coffee in Australia is only really affected by 2 different pests or diseases, and they are black scale and cercospora, which is a fungal disease. Neither of which affect our coffee here because our coffee is well maintained, and any well maintained coffee tree won't be infringed by any of these diseases.
Okay, so look after the trees and they look after you. You don't need to
right.
worry.
Exactly.
Like your body, a healthy body, look after your body, you stay healthy.
That's exactly right.
Wow.